help?
One thing about working in science fiction, it allows you to maintain a certain detachment from the material, especially if it's very personal material. And it also, you get to invent technology that hasn't been invented yet, which is also useful for metaphors as well. I guess the difference between Kamakiriad and a Steely Dan album is simply that I wrote all the songs, except for a few exceptions in the with Snowbound, which Walter and I wrote around in the mid-'80s sometime together, and Florida Room, which was the lyrics were written by Libby Titus and myself.
Snowbound was written 1985 or 86, and then we actually didn't, the music was written at that point, and we had a few lyric ideas, and then we finished the lyrics basically over the phone. For a while, Donald and I were writing over the phone. We had headsets and everything, you know. We'd have these long, drawn-out, you know, expensive telephone calls. Donald had a Watts line in his house, and, you know, at the end of an hour and a half, we'd have a line or 2 lines or whatever. So we kind of just chipped away at it.
Let's sleep in today. Wake me up when the wolves come out to play. Heat up these white nights. We're gonna turn this town into a city of lights.
The style I work in is not that distinguishable from the style people associate with Steely Dan. Walter and I both like the same kind of audio effects, and we both like very natural sound, very little reverb, and tight arrangements. We started recording in I think it was the spring of 1990. In New York, and then because Walter lives in Hawaii, I would spend 3 weeks there or a month in Hawaii at his home studio, and then we'd take a break and I'd write some more tunes or whatever, and then he would come to New York for 3 weeks or a month, and we'd continue, and this went on in a sort of erratic fashion.
The way my studio is configured here, you can see, as a result of an accident, the studio is basically in 2 buildings. So you can never really get that, you know, hyper-manic indoor thing going where you're just trapped in a building. Every once in a while you have to, it's unavoidable that you would pass through the natural world for a minute, and that has a great, gives you a sense of perspective.
Relax with some sound.
Walter and I have been thinking about going out in the summertime, doing a little touring with a new band, and that should be interesting. We haven't played since '74 live, really, or at least in a large venue. So it should be fun. Probably do some stuff from Kamakiriad and some tunes from Walter's album that he's working on now, and some of the old tunes, Steely Dan tunes, which will probably be rearranged for a live performance, which is something we always used to do when we used to play live. We used to play with the tunes a lot because I don't like to come out and just play the recorded versions so much, unless I can't think of anything else to do with them.
On a night like this, you look up at your lover. It's like you're in some old cartoon.
Well, I think in The Night Fly, the future is seen from a very naive viewpoint by an adolescent, really. And in Kamakiriad, you have someone who's matured a great deal, but in fact, it still seems to be very optimistic and still naive in a way. And I think, I think I'm generally an optimistic person because really, there's no choice, is there?